Good morning. If you just excuse the beard, I'm still waking up. The NFL Divisional Round Playoffs for 2021-2022 season was one of the most amazing weekends ever. But unfortunately for me, it ended on a sour note. What I want to do real quick is go through the weekend's games and discuss why I think some of the criticism being handed down in some instances is just stupid. The first thing is yes, what a weekend it was. It was perhaps the greatest divisional weekend playoffs that I remember. Not one game was decided before the end of it. My son's team, the Cincinnati Bengals, upset Tennessee with a field goal with a rookie kicker after I thought what Cincinnati was doing was illogical by running the ball to settle for a 49-yard kick and at one point setting the ball on the hash mark by going backwards. But their kicker pulled it off, and my son was very happy at the end of it. Then, Green Bay and San Francisco. My son's other favorite team is the Packers, and I know a ton of 49er fans. This was a defensive game, but I believe it is one of two games that should go down in NFL lore. And if you don't know what NFL lore is, it's when a game is so so historical in nature that it ends up being named the Immaculate Reception, the Hail Mary, the catch, the fumble. And this one should go down in history as the block, or the blocked punt. Because Green Bay had that game won with 4 minutes to go, leading 10-3, and neither offense moving. Green Bay was advancing to their third straight NFC championship. And then their special teams did what they've done all season and failed. Twice in this game, the 49ers were able to block kicks, costing the Packers 10 points, 3 of their own and 7 for the 49ers. They should have been leading 13-3, and they ended up losing 13-10. But it was a great game. Then on Sunday, Tom Brady, the so-called GOAT, and we've discussed that numerous times on this channel, actually got a personal foul for taunting. What was interesting is that the Buccaneers ended up with 3 of those personal foul penalties. And Ndamukong Suh, who is perhaps one of the most controversial players in the game, in my opinion, one of the worst when it comes to sportsmanship, was given a personal foul for taunting. And you could hear him saying to the ref that he kicked me. And we're talking about Ram quarterback Matthew Stafford. Now, Stafford and Suh used to be teammates in Detroit, but apparently there's no love lost between the two. Looking at the replay, yes, Stafford's leg was extended into Suh's lower region, but it was during the act of being tackled, and I'm not sure that it was a purposeful move on Stafford's part. Hard to say. The interesting thing is the internet, which is, a cesspool of human activity, gets on there defending Suh, saying that we knew what he said. He said he got kicked. That's not what he said to Stafford. That's what he said when the ref's mic was on. We don't know what he said to Stafford. And knowing Matthew Stafford as the sportsman that he is, he probably won't say what Suh said. And I don't know if Suh will ever repeat it. The Buccaneers fall down 20-3, and then in typical Tom Brady fashion, start the comeback. And they tie the game at 27 with less than a minute to go. And then Stafford hits Cooper Kupp, Eastern Washington grad, on a huge play. They're able to get down and spike the football and kick the game-winning field goal for 3 games, ending a game-winning field goal. And then it's my game. The Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. The emotional roller coaster that this came on, and I wouldn't have it any other way because it's much better to have an emotional roller coaster of a game like that than to be watching Tom Brady versus Ben Roethlisberger or Peyton Manning for the 100th time in the playoffs. Midway through the third quarter, I actually thought about giving up at one point. The Chiefs took a 2-score lead, and I was like, all right, that's it. That's done. It was a great season. Some things the Bills need to work on with great season. And then this Bills chat that I'm a part of, that reminded me to have faith, to believe. And I did. And right away, Josh Allen hits Gabe Davis on a 75-yard touchdown pass, taking advantage of the Chiefs' secondary being weak. Now, we'll get back to Tyrann Mathieu and the Chiefs' secondary at the end of the game. They were able to get the ball back and then take the lead 26-23 after hitting Gabe Davis again in a 2-point conversion. Yeah, 26-23 with a minute 54 left. It's a lot of the fire whistles blown. That's a lot of time for Patrick Mahomes. And sure enough, all he needed was 52 seconds as he hits Tyreek Hill, who coming across the middle, and then just the speed of this man is unbelievable. Not a single Buffalo Bill can catch him. The Chiefs take a 29-26 lead. No. 29? Yeah, 29-26 lead with a minute 2 to go. Plenty of time for Josh Allen. And sure enough, right down the field, Josh Allen finds Gabe Davis on 4th down, no less, 4th and 13, to take a 36. No. Man, I'm confused on the scoring. 32. Let's see, they had 26. 33-29 lead? 4-point lead. No, they had a 3-point lead. 32-29. Yeah, 32-29 lead with 13 seconds to go. Now, you would think 13 seconds is enough. You've done it. I mean, when the Cowboys had 14 seconds, Dak Prescott used all that up on one play, running up the middle on a quarterback sneak. Couple things. The kickoff deep that the Bills went, which started a touchback, they're getting complained. People are complaining that they should have squibbed it. Well, a couple things on a squib. One is you're taking a chance that you actually give the bucket Chiefs better field position. If the Chiefs are alert and are in a good position to catch the squib and go right down. The other thing is in the year 2000, the 1999 playoffs, the Bills did just that. They kicked it short, and the Music City Miracle happened. So, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And Patrick Mahomes takes advantage of the soft defense with 2 passes down the field, and they had their timeouts, which Dallas didn't, but they had their timeouts. Kicked a field goal to send it in overtime, and then the overtime rules being what they are, Kansas City wins the toss, goes right down the field, and finds Travis Kelce for the touchdown. Kansas City advances. The back and forth, the heart-stopping action, receiving texts left and right, whether somebody said the game was amazeballs and happened to be the first game they had watched this whole season, to my mother-in-law texting me as well and asking if I was having a heart attack. I mean, it hurts, but it's just a game. And there will always be another season. I've talked about the kickoff and how I think that there's no right answer to that. You kick it, you pop it up, Kansas City can call fair catch, no time comes off the clock. Some people are under the impression that if you kick it off, the clock starts at the kick, and no, that's not true. It starts at possession. So a squib kick, if it's caught right, possession, it won't take any time off. If the returning team recovers the squib kick, immediately goes down, then you might lose a second. But you would have needed to cost 4 to stop that potential kick. No, I think the more important thing is that the loose coverage that Buffalo ran pretty much all game long. I mean, Travis Kelce caught the touchdown and caught a big pass to set up the field goal. We've had linebackers cover all season long, but not him. Tyreek Hill, Jerick McKinnon, Nicole Hardman, guys were getting open all game long. So the game plan, I think, is what sucks there. The overtime rules. Some people don't remember that 3 years ago, four seasons ago, in the AFC Championship, the first of this 4-year run now that Kansas City's on, Tom Brady brought the Patriots back and put the game in overtime. The Patriots won the coin toss, and right down the field, the Patriots won. So it's happened to the Chiefs, and now it's happened by the Chiefs. Super Bowl 51, the Falcons didn't get a coin toss, or lost the coin toss after blowing that 28-3 lead, and the Patriots right down the field. The the overtime rules aren't necessarily a problem. It's the defense that can't stop the team, especially when they're on fire. There have been plenty of overtime. In fact, there have been 30 plus overtime games in NFL playoff history, and only like 7 or 8 have ended on the first drive. Actually, I could probably, because I have a spreadsheet that tells me longest games, and I'm going to say that there's 38 overtime games. Maybe 12 have ended on the first drive. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch some of these games to remember. But overtime isn't a problem. Not at all. It's the defense. And speaking of the Bills' defense, they have 2 coordinators who are in high demand. Their assistant general manager just got hired by the New York Giants to be their GM, Sean. And there's strong rumors that Brian Daboll is a top candidate to become the Giants' new head coach. In order for Sean McDermott to prove just how good of a coach he is, these are the kinds of things that you have to deal with and survive. Bill Belichick has been losing coordinators for 20 plus years. They used to talk about coaching trees and the Bill Walsh coaching tree or the Mike Ditka coaching tree or the whatever, where the teams who have success lose their coordinators. And that's what apparently is going to happen to Buffalo this year, especially on offense with Brian Daboll. Go find that next brilliant mind that can work with Josh Allen, that can work with the Bills offense, and take us down the field and get a championship. One of the keys is going to be hosting playoff games. In this run that the Bills are on now, where they've made the playoffs 4 out of 5 years, they're undefeated at home in the playoffs, 3-0. On the road, not so much. They're 0-3. Losing to Houston, and now twice to Kansas City. They need to get the playoff games at home. And one of the good things about next year's schedule is they're playing the NFC North. Who knows what's going to be going on in Green Bay? Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago are all in rebuilding phases at this point. They're playing the AFC North. We don't know what's happening in Pittsburgh with their offense. Cincinnati's tough. Cleveland will be better. And then there's Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore. That'll be a tough division. They'll have, the Chiefs and the Titans and their own division, and the 17th game is going to be at the Rams. So it's not going to be a great schedule, but Buffalo needs to win the games. I mean, they were 12-1 in games decided by 2 scores or more. They were 0-6 in games decided by 1 score. In 2020, they knew how to win these games, beating the Rams, beating the Seahawks, beating the Patriots in these close games. But in 2021, that part of the game eluded them. So that's something to work on. I don't know player personnel and who's got what for contracts. Tre'Davious White will be back next year. But I look forward to the 2022 season, and I'm still going to believe, and I'm still going to be a proud Buffalo Bill fan now for the conference championships. Bengals, Chiefs, 49ers, Rams. Who saw those 4 teams? Well, I'm sure a lot of people picked the Chiefs to be this far, but who saw the other 3? I'm going to be going with the road teams, personally. My son is a Bengals fan. Like I said, I know a lot of 49er fans, a lot of very diehard, rabid fans that haven't tasted a championship in 28 years now, 27 years. So I'm going with the two teams who have the longest championship drought going. The Chiefs is only 2 years, the Rams is 22, the 49ers is 27, and the Bengals have never won it in their 54 years of activity. So I'm going Bengals and 49ers, and we'll see what happens. Until then, until next time, I'm Vinny Vincent, and God bless America.